amazing people, bonjour! Welcome back on the podcast. Today is a good day too. That is becoming for this year a special high performance podcast called This Month is a Good Month Too. In this new format, I am taking you every month on an exclusive journey behind the scenes of my preparation towards Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I am so happy to be with you right now, and I'm so grateful you've decided to spend some of your precious time with me today to listen to my stories. If you are new here and it's the first time you're listening, welcome on board. My name is Lucie Herman. I'm 26 years old. I'm a field hockey goalkeeper playing for the French senior women national team and for the Dutch club called Den Bosch. Why creating this podcast? Let's start here, because besides playing hockey, I'm also an inspiring mindset and high performance coach. And alongside sport, my purpose is to help you unlocking your potential thanks to thinking a different way. I deeply care about humbly guiding you to think a different way when you're facing your own challenges, to see things from a different angle, and overall to help you grow your mind, develop your mental strength, and become, one step at a time, one day at a time, the best version of yourself. To do so, this podcast format is the following. Every month, I'm sharing with you 3 key questions, key topics related with events that happened to me or around me during the month prior. During each episode, I'm sharing with you mindset tips and personal thoughts that I am personally using when I'm facing difficult situations, and to share them with you the most relatable way possible in order for you to apply it in your own daily life. All throughout the episode, feel free to write down some notes on your phone or on a paper while listening, or record some moment with your phone if you can't write at the same time, so that you can go back very easily to anything I said you found helpful. And of course, if you enjoyed this podcast or this episode, you can subscribe to it on any platform you're listening your podcast on, so you won't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you're enjoying this podcast or found anything helpful and you would like to let me know and to text me, or if you also have any questions about something I shared, you can always send me a personal message on my Instagram page, that is @HappyLucie. I do read each of your texts and I always reply with the biggest pleasure. Last but not least, just a quick important reminder before we dive in. The several tips I'm sharing with you are not magic tricks to make you happy forever, neither magic tricks to use so that you will never ever be sad nor struggle a day in your life ever again, or anything like that. No, it's not that, simply because first, that's not possible, and second, that's not the goal. The only goal I have sharing these tips with you is to give you different mindset tools you can practice. So yes, mindset is a practice in order for you to navigate your daily life a bit better. That's it. All I want is to help you developing your mental and emotional capacities, as well as to become capable of bouncing back from your own challenges, to become more confident in your own skin, more capable of using your emotions instead of them using you, and so on. That's it. Now, finally, every piece of advice I'm sharing with you are not the only way to work on one situation. They are one way. That's very important, because in this case, I'm sharing with you the way I used myself at that specific moment, and maybe in another moment I would have used a different way to bounce back from the challenges. So please keep in mind that this is not a 3-hour mindset masterclass on one specific mindset theme with 10 ways to get better at one topic. This is a humble podcast episode. And just before ending this introduction, I wanted to give a big loving shout out to my dear friend Luz for listening to this podcast. So if you are in the car driving to work, hello, thank you for tuning in. Now, without further ado, this month is a good month to reflect over January. Here we go! The 3 topics of this month episode are the following. Topic 1. What is one way to become a better leader in a team, even if you're not the captain? Number 2. How much remembering to have fun is an important approach to increase your performance level in your sport or your daily life. Topic number 3, underrated opinion Practice giving yourself grace after making a mistake. Let's dive into key topic number 1. What is one way to become a better leader in a team, even if you're not the captain? I wanted to share this topic with you for 2 reasons. First, because I've had a conversation about leadership with our French national team coach in January, in between a couple of games we've had. And second, it's a question I got asked once I was doing a Zoom presentation with other goalkeepers a long time ago. And I found that it's an interesting topic to talk about. So keep in mind that what I'm going to share can apply regardless if you're playing sports or not. It applies in your group of friends, in your family, with your coworkers at work, if you're a coach, a boss, but also even with strangers or people you interact with for the first time. I don't know about you, but when I listen to podcast episodes or read books that talk about leaderships, we can find various definitions about leadership and how to be a better leader. Today, I wanted to share with you an approach I find very interesting, that I haven't heard very often, that I learned from Simon Sinek, who is a motivational and management public speaker. If you've never heard of him, you can check Simon Sinek speeches on YouTube. He wrote several books, and you may have heard about Before I share his vision with you, you can ask yourself too, what is your vision of a leader? How would you define a leader? And why? Why that way of definition? And do you consider yourself a leader within the type of group you're in your life? And if you would want to become a better leader, what are ways right now that you can think about in order to do so? One way, and again one way, not the only way, that Simons defines how to become a leader is the following. If you decide to look out to the person to the right of you and to the person to the left of you, you have officially become a leader. Now let me say that again. If you decide to look out to the person to the right of you and to the person to the left of you, you have officially become a leader. While hearing this perspective, what do you think of it? Has this ever been a way you thought of leadership? With discovering his perspective, would you say that it's something that you are already doing sometimes in your team environment, in your group environment? And does it make you think again about how you might already be a leader in your team without you even knowing it? Now let's dive into a bit more Simon Sinek vision. First, what does it mean? Looking at the person who's on your left and right of you. It's not looking at to them as giving them money or food or a house or like a promotion. Looking after them means they know you genuinely care about them. It means you're asking them, how was your day? How do you feel lately? And you genuinely care about the answer. Or, for example, if you've noticed that someone has had a bad day at work, you can text them in the evening or the day after to check on them. Hey, how you doing? I've noticed you were a bit off today. Do you want to talk about it? Being a leader isn't only about being the most popular friend or player in the team. Being a leader is also showing up for your circle by letting someone know, hey, that was good what you did, when they did something good. And to support them, to let them know you're here for them, even when they did something less good. It's about making them feel seen, valued, and heard. One example to do that is imagine you're with your teammate in the locker room and there's only one person with you who's still not ready to go, but you're ready to go, and everyone is already gone. Well, if you can just wait for him or her, make sure that you are waiting with the last person so she feels cared for, she feels valued. Or if you are already walking to the field and you see a teammate walking behind you on his own, you can stop and wait so you can walk together. Make sure someone of your team never walks alone. Looking out to others means that you're also thinking and caring about their needs too, their well-being too, and not only your own, which matter in every environment, sport or not. Because when you're doing that, people know, hey, I can count on you. You're on my team. Like I mentioned earlier about being a leader with strangers, as well as with friends in a group, or teammates or colleagues, looking out for them, for the person on the right or the left of you, means asking them questions. And asking them questions about them. It's about showing them a genuine interest in them, in their life. Never underestimate the power of asking questions to someone, because it strengthens connection. And when you're doing that, when you're asking someone a question about their life, you're showing them that they matter, even if you know them since 5 minutes. You're making them feel seen and valued, and that's priceless. However, it has to be genuine. If you ask questions, but you don't really care or listen to the people answer, people will feel it. Now, some side notes. Of course, it's not because you're doing it once and then never again that you're a leader. It's really about doing it a genuine way again and again and again, and making that care you have for others almost as a new trait of your personality, that it's going to start having an impact and that you're going to start strengthening the connections with your group. It's really a question of building up that relationships with others where you reach a point where they know you truly care for them and you're truly supporting them, no matter what. Side note again, you don't have to do that every day, every time, with everyone. But if you want to increase your level of connection with your team and your friends and anyone you're part of a group with, well, the more you do it, the stronger your link with them will be on the long term. Now, another examples of how you can practice becoming a better leader, non-sport example-wise, is simply, let's say you know your friend or someone in your family has had a bad day, or has had an important meeting or an event at work or at school or anything. You can simply text them to check out on them and see how they are doing. Check on them if they feel better, check on them to see how their exam went, maybe to simply ask them about, hey, how did your meeting go? Can brighten the days and let them know, hey, someone cares about me and is thinking of me. With teammates, for example, if one of them got injured, you can check on them even already during the training, if it happened at a training, or ask them next time you see them, hey, how's the pain going? How's your injury going? Or just let them know, hey, you've had a great game today. Oh, hey, I found that you did a great action over here. That was a great defense. Oh, hey, I noticed you got better at that. I'm really happy for you that you could improve your skills. And like I said earlier, wait for the last person in the locker room if you're about to leave, or wait for someone who's walking alone. Now, of course, I don't know how comfortable you could feel behaving that way with people. Maybe it's way too much outside your comfort zone or your nature, and that's okay. That's really okay. If you want it, if you want to practice it, you can. And if you feel like you rather practice being a leader a different way that fits more into your own character trait, that's also possible and really good too. Like, you do you. I know that looking out to people who are on my left and right side is easy for me, sort of easy for me, because since I'm a teenager, I've very often thought of the sentence, do to people what you wish would be done to you, and don't do to them what you wish would not be done to you. So basically, caring about people's need is something that I'm used to do for many years already, so it's easier for me to do that. Now, however, and that might be helpful to any introverts of you listening, because I'm also part of the introvert squad, yes, in one way, that's my personality to support people. Another one of my personality traits is that I can be very introvert, very quiet, especially already 5, 6, 7 years ago with the French team. I was not at all a key player there in the team. I would absolutely not consider myself a leader. I was a second goalie, I wasn't that great, and also lots of players were friends in the team and playing together in the same clubs for years already, which was not my case. So my approach to build some connections with some teammates was by telling them, hey, what you did was great, or asking them a lot of questions to get to know them better. Now that I'm older and time flew by, I'm less an introvert with the French team. I'm way more vocal, and I've built great relationship with my teammates over the years. But still, in my Dutch club, for example, with my Dutch teammates, When I arrived, I could not join any conversation in a group, like I could not be part of a conversation because I didn't speak Dutch. So the key tool for me was, and still is, to find a few minutes during the day, during the training, to have a one-on-one conversation with a teammate, asking them how was their day, how was their exam at school, how did it go, cheering for them during games or during trainings, or letting them know they did a great job, oh, that was a great shot. That behavior is a big tool that I'm using that helped me feeling connected and part of the team anyway, regardless if I struggle as an introvert, regardless if I'm shy and to speak in a group, regardless if I struggle with the language, regardless if I'm not friends since years with some girls, regardless if I'm a key player in the team or not. So it's really something that I can control, a behavior I can control that can help me connect way more in my group environment. Now, side note again to keep it real, of course, I am not perfect. I am not checking in with each one of my teammates 24/7, but over time, I've built stronger relationship with some more than others. And that's normal because you always feel more comfortable to talk with some teammates, some people than others, and that's okay. But at least I know that sometimes with the players I'm less talkative with, if a situation shows up where I can show my care, my support to that teammate, then I'm going to try to use that situation to do so. But also to keep it real again, it can feel very vulnerable doing it or doing any of the things I mentioned. And some days, to keep it real, I still feel very shy and I'm scared to reach out to someone and to be vulnerable. But that's okay. Again, we're human, we're not perfect. Now, the thing is, as long as this remains occasional, that's okay. Because some days I'm in my head and it's harder for me to look out for people. Last but not least, the second point I can add about leadership that is related with the question I asked to my national team coach, like I mentioned at the beginning of this topic, which was, how can I be a better leader? And he simply told me the following thing: just be yourself. Do it naturally. Speak with your heart when you want to speak, but don't force it. You don't have to be talking all the time, because if you force it, if it's not natural, people will notice it. People will feel it. And also, you can make an impact as a leader in your team, both by speaking directly to the whole group, but as well as having one-on-one conversation with any of your teammates. These one-on-one conversations can also have a big impact. Let's dive into key topic number 2. How much remembering to have fun is an important approach to increase your performance level in your sport or your daily life. What happened in January, so I'm talking about this. With the French team, we went to Spain and South Africa to play 10 games in total. And of course, when I get the opportunity to play with the Frenchies, sometimes I get nervous, which is normal. Like every athlete, I get nervous because I care about playing well, I want to play well, I want to perform, I want to help my team win, and that's something every athlete experiences regardless of age or competition level. Last year, I was doing my studies on psychology for high-performance sports team, and while studying, I discovered the notion of performance anxiety for the first time. I had never heard of that. So I'm asking you, have you ever heard of that? Like performance anxiety, is that something you've already heard of? If yes, that's cool. If no, that's also okay, because I'm going to talk about it a bit now. Performance anxiety, even if when I was studying it, it was associated with sport context. You could be a coach or a player, but feeling performance anxiety can be happening in any life situation, such as meeting people for the first time, joining social activities, speaking in public, having a job interview, etc. Now, performance anxiety can have several definitions, so here I'm going to share this one. Performance anxiety is the fear to be unable to accomplish something. Let me start with asking you the following questions. How often do you feel nervous or anxious in work situations, social or sports situations? How are you able to deal with these nerves and stress? Have you already been able to find ways that works for you to help you decrease your stress level in certain environment? If yes, that's amazing. Keep doing that. How are you handling pressure most of the times? Are you capable to sometimes remember to find pleasure in the work, in your social life, in your sport? I'm going to start with sharing a sport-based perspective, and now we'll be sharing a non-sport example right after. So here's the thing. Imagine that today is game day, and it's an important game. Your team really wants to play good, and you as a player, you really want to play good. Let's start with the following self-talk example. Picture yourself in the morning before the game, thinking to yourself, whoa, I really have to perform today. I really have to play really good. I can't make a mistake today. Oh wow, it's because people are expecting me to perform. I really can't disappoint. I don't want to disappoint my team. If I make a mistake, I'm gonna be such an embarrassment. I don't want to let people down. I really can't mess up. I wonder how the game is gonna go, but I really can't mess up. I really have to perform today. That's an example of performance anxiety self-talk. Now, just so you know, don't worry. To reassure you, there's nothing weird about you. There's nothing wrong. You're not less of an athlete because you have these thoughts. I think every single athlete, even Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, have had these thoughts at one time of their career. So it's really okay. It's really normal. It's really okay to have these thoughts. The important thing is to not let these thoughts control you. And when you're noticing that they are coming in your head, to find ways to not let these thoughts prevent you to perform. Now, when you heard me say all these thoughts to you, like, for example, just say it again, like, wow, I really have to perform today. I really have to play good. I can't make a mistake today. People are expecting me to perform. I can't disappoint. When you're hearing me say this sentence, how do you feel? Just now in the podcast, just how do you feel? Because by simply me saying them out loud to you, just recording this podcast episode, so not at all being like close to play a game in a couple of hours, I can already feel a switch within my body and I'm feeling more stressed and anxious, as if my chest is getting more blocked and I feel a sense of pressure around me. Now, this reaction from my body is really normal because these thoughts are giving a sense of threat. As if just by thinking these thoughts, there is now a threat to my safety and to my well-being. That's how our brain is going to receive these thoughts. There's like a threat around us. So basically, the more we focus on performance, on having to perform, and the more we think these thoughts, the more our brain feels threatened. And the more our brain feels threatened, the more stressed we feel. So the more stress we feel, how well do you think we're going to be able to perform? Not so well, or at least we are not going to play feeling at our best, and our brain and body are going to feel pressured and threatened the whole time. Now here's the crazy thing. The more we're going to focus on performance, the more we're going to feel stressed, the less we're going to play free, the more we're going to tend to make mistakes, and conclusion, the less we're going to be able to perform. And that's crazy because we tend to focus on performing all the time. But the more we focus on performing, the less we will be able to actually perform. Now back to the title of topic number 2. How much is it important to remember to have fun in order to increase your performance level? Here is one way, and again, reminder, it's one way, not the only way, to decrease your performance anxiety and at the same time increase your performance level, which is to switch your focus, to switch your self-talk from I have to perform today to I want to enjoy the moment. I want to enjoy the moment. Just imagine if you switch your self-talk from I have to perform, I can't make mistakes, I can't let people down, I have to play good, to the following self-talk. Hey! I'm loving being here right now. I'm so happy I get to do something I love now, with people I love around me. I'm really grateful I'm getting this opportunity, because these are the moments I'm training for, I'm working for. So let's go, it's showtime, let's do this. How do you feel in your body right now, just by you listening to these sentences, compared to the previous ones? Because for me right now, I'm feeling a sense of excitement, of peace, of enjoyment, of gratitude, because that's what's happening in my brain. My nervous system thanks to the thoughts I'm having and to the message I'm sending to my brain and my body, my nervous system is gonna get into a relaxed state of gratitude, of joy, of peace. And even more important, you're gonna feel more confident because you're calmer. Because you're in a good flow, you're in a good flow of energy, you're excited. And thanks to that, I think you can finish my sentence, you're gonna be able to perform better. That is a massive game changer perspective that we don't get taught to think about. So remember that for yourself. If you want to perform, if you want to feel confident, one big way to do that is not to focus on performing and having to perform at all, but simply to switch that to remember to enjoy. Enjoy the moment. Remember that you're enjoying the moment you're in. Have a good time. It's really about remembering you're going to have a good time because you're doing something you love. And if you're not doing any sports at all, you can also remember to enjoy when you're going out with your friends for social activities. Maybe you're feeling super anxious because it's not about performance, but it's just about what if they don't like me? Do I really belong in the group? Am I even special? Do they really care for me? These kind of thoughts can also be a form of performance anxiety, because you're questioning your ability to accomplish something that's important for you. For example, feeling that you have strong connections with your group of friends or a group of coworkers. So regardless if it's in sport or with your friends or any social activities, anything outside your own bedroom or house that could make you feel anxious and stressed and nervous, remember to have fun. Now, how does it look like? It looks like putting a smile on your face. When you are in that situation, put a smile on your face, smile, and remember that right here, right now, if you quiet the noise around you, you are in an environment you appreciate, you find joy in. You are surrounded by people you value, you care for, so have fun. If you're playing sport, remember that's your passion. Remember to enjoy, remember to smile, remember to focus on the joy you're getting in that present moment. Because by doing this, it's going to increase your aura, increase your energy level, increase your peace of mind and the clarity of your mind. And then the more you're going to be capable to see things from different angles, the more you're going to be capable to bounce back from mistake, the more you're going to be able to communicate efficiently with people around you, and the more you're going to have a good time. Now, if you like to visualize things, I have something for you. It's a visualization concept called cleaning the mirror. Right now, you can literally visualize your mirror in your bathroom when you're brushing your teeth. Imagine that tonight or this morning, when you're brushing your teeth and cleaning your face, getting ready for bed or getting ready for your day, you can't really see your face properly in the mirror because there is dust everywhere. There is dust everywhere on the mirror. It's dirty. Now we're going to associate the dust on the mirror with the wrong focus our mind is having. When our mind is having a negative self-talk, our mind is having too much focus on performance and is getting all this anxious and stressed energy, our mind gets dusty. Our energy level gets dusty. Our joy goes away. That's why it's important to clean the mirror. Up, clean the dust, clean your mirror, clean your thoughts. And that clean mirror is the mirror that's remembering that right here, right now, we're enjoying the moment. When you can see yourself clearly, when the mirror is clean, you're capable of remembering to have fun. You're having a clean energy, a pure aura. So clean the mirror means get the dust away from here. You can literally visualize any mirror in your bathroom or anywhere in your house. The mirror is dusty when you're focused on the wrong thing. When you're giving too much importance to things who don't deserve as much. Because you can't see things properly. There is dust everywhere. So cleaning the mirror takes work, takes inner work, takes vulnerability, takes dropping your ego. And I know all that is hard. And I know it also takes time. But the joy you're gonna get is worth doing the dirty work. To share with you a non-sport example, but a social activity one, my first years in the Netherlands, I didn't speak a word of Dutch, like I shared earlier. Now, after a while, I started taking lessons, so now I can speak a bit of Dutch and I can understand conversations. But at the beginning, Still now, sometimes if it goes too fast or if there are too much noise around me, I won't understand anything. So I could have felt pressured in the sense of thinking, oh my God, how am I going to enjoy my time here? How are they going to appreciate me? I'm a foreigner. I don't understand anything. I could find that boring and I could get into my head and I could get lots of dust on my own mirror because my thoughts is making my mind dusty. But instead, I kept focusing on the joy I could get and I still get when I see them enjoying being all together. In order to help myself clean my mirror, in a social environment, I was focusing on the joy I would get to see my teammates being so joyful all together. When some girls would laugh about something, I would laugh and smile too because I was happy being in a happy environment. I was happy being with players who are happy around me. And I find my joy and my peace in being in that happy environment. And putting that focus on the joy I get and the fact that right here, right now, I'm loving where I am, even if it's hard, even if I don't understand everything, right here, right now, I'm happy. Well, this is a mindset tool that allows me to keep my mirror clean. Now, last but not least, to add some extra annual questions, you can clean your own mirror by asking yourself right now, why do I do that thing in the first place? What do I find fun? How do I feel joy in this environment? What brings me joy in this environment? And instead of letting stress and anxiety overwhelming me, how can I find more joy in things that depends of my behavior or of my perspective? Because if I ask myself, why am I here in the first place in the Netherlands, then I would remember it's because I love field hockey. And I love working for my Olympic dreams and pushing my limits, and being in the Netherlands is that exact reason I'm here. I'm doing that. So I'm choosing to lean into some more inner joy. To share with you a quick sport personal example, I find fun as a goalkeeper. I find joy as a goalkeeper when I'm putting my goalie gears on. I find joy when I hear the sound of the ball on my kickers. I find joy when I can do some moves like jumping or sliding to stop balls. I find joy, I find it fun. And these things are never related with how good or bad I'm performing. Because I'm not seeking fun in my performance. I'm seeking fun in things that I find fun. I'm seeking fun in actions that I can do, but not on results that depend on what I'm doing. Now, before diving into topic number 3 of this month's episode, I wanted to share with you a quote I love from an ex-woman American football player who played for the US national team in the 90s. She's an absolute legend in her sport. Maybe you've already heard about her name, which is Mia Hamm. And she said the following thing. Somewhere behind the athletes you've become and the hours of practice and the coaches who have pushed you is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her. Let's dive into the third and last key topic of this episode. Topic number 3, underrated opinion. Practice giving yourself grace after making a mistake. This topic may sound a bit cliche or cheesy for you, and I could understand. And for that, I'm asking you to stick with me and keep listening, because even if it sounds cheesy or cliche, there are real power in practicing that mindset tool, and I'm going to explain them all to you. Giving yourself grace means giving yourself the permission to make mistakes. Giving yourself the permission to forgive yourself from your mistakes. Because no one is perfect. In simple terms, giving yourself grace is about showing yourself self-compassion and kindness. It's about forgiving and accepting yourself, even in the hard moments. Even in moments where it's really challenging to do so. Just because no one is perfect, and we are all trying our best. And to give yourself grace means that acknowledgement that you are simply human, perfectly imperfect. And yes, I agree with you, it's cliche and it's cheesy, but I came to realize that very often the truest topics are the most cliche or cheesy ones. Like you can think, yeah, perfectly imperfect, blah blah, no one is perfect. Yeah, okay, but if you actually put the cheese nest and the laugh aside, it's actually true. If you're embracing the fact that, yes, it's cliche and cheesy, you can focus on the fact that it's actually true and important. Yeah, hell yeah, no one is perfect. And the reason why I'm sharing this mindset tool is because I've been working on it myself a lot recently. And let me tell you, I find it so useful. Especially if you're a perfectionist, stick with me and keep listening, because this can be a really game changer. Because let me tell you, I am a big perfectionist hockey-wise, and I could go crazy mad against myself doing hockey trainings. My self-talk was very harsh when I was making a mistake, when I would take a goal against me, and it was really hard for me to move on, because I always wanted to do everything good all the time, which is absolutely never possible, because sometimes you're tired, sometimes the player do a great job, sometimes it's just training, you can't be a machine and stop like 50 balls in a row, and that's okay. But actually still, that was not okay for me at the time, for younger Lucy, and I was way too frustrated, my self-talk was really bad, and I was holding on to some mistakes for too long. And so I would have terrible trainings for like 2 hours just because mentally I was not able to switch. And now, since a couple of months, I've been practicing telling myself, give yourself grace. During my trainings, when I start getting upset or really pissed at myself, I'm saying that to help me switch, and it's so helpful. Give yourself grace. It helps me switch faster because this mantra reminds me I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I try and I succeed, and sometimes I try and I miss, and that's okay. Especially if it's a training or even when it's a game, I try and I succeed, sometimes I try and I miss, and that's okay. Not every day are the same, not every day has the same quality, and that's okay. That's naturally part of life, so just move on. Give yourself grace. Have some compassion for yourself. Forgive yourself. It's okay. Just imagine, think about a situation for yourself where you are currently struggling at moving on from a mistake that you made. Think about the amount of peace of mind you would get if you would start applying this mindset tool for yourself of giving yourself more grace. It's exactly the same than with the previous topic and the clean the mirror perspective that I shared. Clean the mirror. You can use this visualization tool for literally everything. So here, it's about cleaning the mirror when you are putting too much dust on it because your mind is too much focused on holding on to the mistake you've just made. All the dust is just your thoughts holding on to the mistake. So just clean the mirror, let it go. Get the dust out, give yourself some grace, forgive yourself. You tried and you missed. And so what? Are you dead? No. Did someone cut your leg? No. Can you try again? Yes. Can you try again tomorrow? Yes. So give yourself grace and move on. I was having a conversation with a teammate who was coming back from an injury and she was playing her first minutes in January. And we had a chat before the game while she was sharing with me that she's reminding herself, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna die. And you can also think about that for yourself. It's the same way as giving yourself grace. Just remember, hey, you're not dead. You made a mistake, fine, you're not dead. No one is gonna die because of that. Yes, it's too bad. But no, you're not gonna die. It's okay. Literally, give yourself some grace, move on. Now, of course, I am aware that it can be very hard, especially at the beginning, because we're not used to that. We're probably not used to giving ourselves so much grace, and we also, if you are an athlete, you might not be really into an environment that allow, let's say, players to make mistakes. So I know it can be hard, but that's why it's important to try to practice it mentally, step by step, a bit every day. And I know it can also be hard, regardless if you're in sport environment or not, simply because making a mistake or missing something or anything we did that led us to being disappointed toward ourselves can be or is triggering to our self-esteem. And thus, it is possible that the lower our self-esteem is, the harder it is to give ourselves grace at the beginning. Because anything we did that was quote-unquote bad is like a trigger for our self-talk to become, for example, see, you're really useless. Or, no, you're really not capable of doing anything right. You just won't make it. So having a self-talk from, see, you're really useless, to just give yourself grace can be hard at the beginning. Now, I know it can be hard, but like I said at the beginning, mindset is a practice. So give yourself a chance and practice it. Now I want to conclude this third topic by highlighting that this third topic, is related with the previous topic number 2. Because the more you practice giving yourself grace, sport-wise or any environment-wise, the more it helps you increasing your performance. Why is that? Because forgiving yourself faster means you're mentally capable of bouncing back from a mistake, from an obstacle, from a bad game, way faster, instead of holding on to that one mistake and carrying it with you for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 following games, days, weeks. And also, like in topic number 2, if you remember you're doing something because you love it, because you find some fun in it, some joy, that awareness will also allow you to lean more into giving yourself grace, as you are actively aware you are not in an environment right now where the goal is to be perfect. So you are not going to do things perfectly. You're going to do things first because you're having fun doing so. And if you miss, you're going to give yourself grace. So basically, remembering to have fun and giving yourself grace both goes together. It's like a small package. If you like to visualize things, you can imagine that next time you're stepping onto the field or to any work environment, imagine that you're carrying with you a tiny handbag, like a tiny box, and within that box, you're walking with 2 mindset tools, having fun and giving yourself grace. And what you can also do, if you really want to put that vision into action, well, you can actually bring a real small bag with you or a real small box, but you can also draw a small box on your hand, like a reminder. I know some French teammates sometimes draw things on their hand, like they're gonna write a word, a number, or a sign, and when they want to feel confident, they want to walk into a game feeling confident, they're gonna do that in order to remember 1 or 2 mental points that are significant for them at that moment. So consider that. Maybe just consider a small drawing on your hand, or maybe bring a small object in your bag, or put a bracelet around your water bottle in order for you to have something visual to guide your mind towards where you want it to be. That's it, champion. That's it for the 3 key topics of this month episode. And like always, here are the final 3 questions to ask yourself in order to do some extra inner work. So you can write the questions down if you want to reflect about it. The questions are: number 1. In order for you to practice becoming a better leader and looking after your people, who is a friend or someone in your environment you could reach out to lately? Question 2. What is at least one way that you can find fun in an upcoming situation that would in general make you feel pressured? Question 3. What's one thing you've been holding on too much lately that you know you should let go of and give yourself some grace about it? Voilà, champions, that's it for this month's episode about January. Thank you so much for having tuned in to listen and learn from another month in my life journey towards my Olympic dream. Like always, if you've enjoyed today's episode, feel free to share it with a friend whom you think will benefit from learning about today's insights, because as you know, we get stronger together. And same, if you've enjoyed this episode, you can let me know by subscribing to it, rating it, or leaving a review anywhere you're listening your podcast from. I am so grateful being on this journey with you. In case no one has told you today, this is a reminder that you matter, you are loved, and you make a difference in this world simply because you are you, an absolutely unique human being. So thank you so much for being here and for being you. Please, 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 please take good care of you, of your mind, and of your life, because you deserve it. I wish you to have a great day. And if for whatever reasons you cannot have a great day, then that's okay. Just have a day. That's great too. Okay, bye now. You're amazing.